Have you ever said something important and people just laughed it off? You're talking, but no one's really listening. You're in the room, but it feels like you're invisible. It's frustrating, right? Here's the truth. People don't take you seriously because, intentionally or not, you're giving them reasons not to. And until you fix these habits, you'll always feel unheard, overlooked, and underestimated. Let's change that right now. 1. You talk too much. Here's the hard truth. The more you talk, the less people listen. Most people don't realize this, but over-talking is one of the fastest ways to make others stop taking you seriously. Why? Because when you constantly fill every silence, you unconsciously communicate one thing: my words aren't valuable unless I keep throwing more of them at you. And the human brain works in patterns. The moment someone senses that you never stop talking, they start tuning you out, not because they're rude, but because you've conditioned them to expect noise instead of impact. The psychology behind it. There's a principle in social psychology called verbal inflation. The more you explain, defend, and add unnecessary details, the cheaper your words become. Just like currency that's been overprinted. Think about it. If someone speaks rarely but delivers sharp, intentional sentences, people lean in. If someone speaks non-stop, people's brains start filtering them out like background noise. Powerful people don't ramble. They choose their words. They let silence carry weight. The respect equation. Here's a rule I live by now. The fewer the words, the greater the authority. I learned this the hard way. Years ago during a meeting, I kept talking and talking, explaining every tiny detail, defending every little decision, trying to sound smart. But when my turn ended, my manager, who barely spoke 3 sentences, stole the entire room's attention. It hit me. People respect clarity, not noise. The person who speaks less but says more always wins the room. How over-talking destroys your presence. 1. You come across as insecure. When you over-explain, people assume you're trying too hard to be understood or accepted. Confidence doesn't justify itself. It states then stops. 2. Dilute your own message. Every extra, unnecessary word buries your main point. People walk away remembering your noise, not your ideas. 3. You signal that you don't listen. When you're always talking, you're not absorbing. And when people sense you don't listen, they naturally listen to you less in return. The power of strategic silence. Here's something most people don't realize. Silence creates authority. When you speak, then pause. People's brains fill the gap by replaying your words. That pause makes your message feel heavier. It forces them to process. Politicians, CEOs, negotiators, they all use this. Why? Because silence demands attention. How to fix it? Step 1. Practice the 2-second rule before responding. Pause for 2 seconds. It signals thoughtfulness, not hesitation. People will lean in, waiting for what you're about to say. Step 2. Cut the fat. Before speaking, ask yourself, do I need to say this? Does this add value? If the answer's no, leave it out. Step 3. Speak in bullet points, not essays. When sharing ideas, structure them simply. State your main point. Give one supporting detail. Stop talking. Step 4. Embrace the power of silence. Next time you make a statement, don't rush to fill the quiet. Let the pause hang. Let your words breathe. Silence forces people to respect the weight of what you said. A quick example scenario. You're pitching an idea at work. Weak delivery. I think we should try this new strategy because, well, I've been researching a lot about it, and I think it could improve efficiency. I mean, I know there are risks, but if we just Like, test it first. We can always adjust if it doesn't work. Strong delivery. I recommend we try this new strategy. It'll improve efficiency by 20%. Here's why. Then stop talking. Which one sounds more confident? Which one gets taken seriously? Exactly. The mindset shift you need. Most people overtalk because they're afraid. Afraid of being misunderstood. Afraid of being ignored. Afraid of seeming not smart enough. But here's the paradox. The less you say, the smarter you sound. Your words are like currency. Spend too much, and they lose value. Spend carefully, and people will treat them like gold. Final thought. If you want people to listen when you speak, stop giving them an ocean of noise. Give them drops of clarity. Speak less, say more, and let silence do the heavy lifting. 2. You dress carelessly. I'm going to say something most people won't tell you. People judge you before you even open your mouth. And yes, that includes your friends, your boss, strangers on the street. Everyone. It's not fair. It's not morally right. But it's reality. We live in a world where first impressions happen in seconds, and your clothes, whether you like it or not, tell people how to treat you. If you dress carelessly, people subconsciously assume you're careless in other areas of your life. Your work, your priorities, your discipline, and even your self-respect. The harsh truth about appearance. People don't take you seriously when your outside contradicts the message you want to send. If you want authority, but wear wrinkled, baggy, mismatched clothes, they won't believe you. If you want to be respected, but look like you just rolled out of bed, they'll dismiss you. If you want to be treated as high value but wear things that scream, "I didn't even try," people believe you don't value yourself. You could be smart, hardworking, and kind, but the way you present yourself can make all of that invisible. The psychology behind it. There's a concept in psychology called enclothed cognition. It's the idea that what you wear doesn't just change how people see you, it changes how you see yourself. When you dress sharp, clean, and intentional, you stand taller, you move differently, you feel more confident, and people sense it instantly. But when you dress carelessly, you naturally act more passive. You blend into the background. People subconsciously place you lower in the social hierarchy. Here's the kicker. The way you dress sets the price tag people put on your time, your opinions, and your presence. Real life example. I had a friend, brilliant guy, insanely talented, but he always showed up in baggy t-shirts, ripped sweatpants, and dirty sneakers. He used to complain that nobody at work respected him. One day, I told him, "Bro, they don't see your mind because they're distracted by your presentation." He switched things up. Nothing crazy, just clean, well-fitted clothes and neutral colors. Within weeks, people started taking his opinions seriously. Same brain, same skills, different packaging. How dressing carelessly affects your life. 1. You get ignored. People assume you have nothing valuable to add. They won't say it out loud, but they'll act on it. 2. You get underestimated. You could be an expert, but careless clothes make people assume you're unprepared or inexperienced. 3. You lose opportunities, from jobs to relationships to networking. People naturally choose those who look like they belong in the room. 4. You sabotage your own confidence. When you don't look put together, you don't feel put together. And when you don't feel confident, your body language exposes you instantly. How to fix it? Here's the good news. You don't need expensive clothes. You just need intentional ones. Step 1. Focus on fit. Not price. A $20 shirt that fits perfectly looks 10 times better than a $500 designer hoodie. that swallows you. Step 2. Master neutral colors. Black, white, navy, gray, and beige always look sharp. They make you appear calm, collected, and put together without trying too hard. Step 3. Invest in the basics. Clean, fitted t-shirts, well-tailored jeans or trousers, 1 or 2 high-quality jackets, clean sneakers or polished shoes, minimal pieces, maximum impact. Step 4. Grooming. Equal sign, non-negotiable. No outfit saves you if your hygiene fails you. Trimmed nails, neat hair, clean shoes, and fresh breath say more about you than a $1,000 blazer ever will. Step 5. Dress one level above. In any setting, work, dates, social events, dress slightly better than the average person there. Not flashy, not overdressed, just enough to command quiet authority. The hidden advantage. When you dress intentionally, you flip a psychological switch. People automatically assume you're competent, disciplined, and confident before you say a word. This gives you a head start in conversations, negotiations, relationships, and opportunities. Remember, you get judged in the first 7 seconds. After that, everything you say is either amplified or ignored, based on how you look. Final thought. Dressing carelessly doesn't just make people overlook you, it makes them undervalue you. But dressing intentionally, clean, fitted, confident, tells the world, I respect myself, and you should too. You don't need designer brands. You don't need expensive suits. You just need clarity in how you present yourself. Because here's the harsh reality. If you don't take yourself seriously, no one else will. 3. You laugh too much. I need to be brutally honest with you. If you laugh at everything, people will never take you seriously. Yes, laughter can make you likable. Yes, it can break tension and build rapport, but there's a thin line between being naturally funny and looking insecure. Cross that line, and instead of seeing you as confident and charismatic, people start seeing you as someone who desperately wants approval. The hidden psychology behind nervous laughter. There's a reason people laugh when nothing is funny. It's called social appeasement. It's your brain's way of saying, please like me. Please don't reject me. Please don't judge me. When you laugh too often, especially at your own words, people pick up on it subconsciously. They start thinking, why is this person trying so hard? Do they even believe what they're saying? Are they hiding nervousness behind that smile? And when people sense insecurity, they instantly start respecting you less. The biggest problem with overlaughing. When you laugh at everything, you train people to see you as entertainment, not authority. Think about the most powerful, respected figures you know, CEOs, leaders, experts, even your favorite creators. Do they constantly laugh at themselves? Do they giggle nervously after every sentence? No, because powerful people control their emotional energy. When you overuse laughter, your words lose weight. Your opinions sound less serious. People start categorizing you as fun to be around, but not someone to be respected. A personal example. Years ago, I used to laugh after almost everything I said. I thought it made me seem friendly and approachable. But at work during group discussions, I noticed something strange. People smiled at me, but they never took my ideas seriously. They'd listen politely, nod, and then move on like I hadn't spoken. It wasn't until I consciously stopped filling silence with nervous laughter that things shifted. I started speaking calmly, holding pauses, and smiling only when I meant it. Suddenly, people leaned in. They debated my ideas. They respected my presence. Signs you might be overusing laughter. You laugh after making serious statements. You giggle when you feel uncomfortable. You chuckle to soften your opinions so you don't seem too harsh. You laugh even when nothing is funny, just to keep things light. If any of these sound familiar, you're unconsciously signaling to people that you want approval more than authority. How to fix it? Action plan. Step 1. Be intentional with your smile. Smiling is powerful when it's authentic, but when it's constant, it loses meaning. Smile when you actually feel it. Step 2. Separate laughter from nerves. Before laughing, ask yourself, am I laughing because this is funny or because I feel uncomfortable? If it's nerves, breathe instead. Pauses create composure. Step 3. Own your statements. Make your point, then let silence do the work. Don't undercut your authority by laughing immediately after you speak. Step 4. Practice controlled energy. People respect those who stay grounded. Lower your voice slightly, slow your speech, and let calmness replace nervous giggles. The quiet power of composure. Controlled laughter doesn't mean you become cold or robotic. It means you become intentional. You choose when to laugh, instead of letting your anxiety choose for you. Because here's the thing, if you treat your own words like a joke, everyone else will too. When you reserve your laughter, people notice. Your serious moments feel heavier, your humor lands better, and your presence commands more respect without you saying a word. Final thought: laughter is a beautiful tool, but only when it's earned. Use it too much, and you look insecure. Use it intentionally, and you gain influence. The goal isn't to become emotionless. The goal is to stop hiding behind laughter when you feel nervous or afraid of judgment. Speak calmly, smile authentically, and when you do laugh, make it mean something. 4. You oversell yourself. There's nothing wrong with being confident, but here's the brutal truth. The moment you start overselling yourself, you instantly lose credibility. People can smell desperation. They can sense when you're trying too hard to impress them. And instead of admiring you, they start doubting everything you say. I learned this the hard way. Years ago, I used to exaggerate my achievements just a little, thinking it would make me look more competent. I'd say things like, I worked on this massive project, when in reality, my role was minor. At first, people nodded along. But over time, I noticed something subtle. They stopped asking me for advice, stopped seeking my input, and stopped taking me seriously. Because, deep down, they didn't trust me. Here's the thing about overselling yourself. People sense insecurity instantly. When you constantly talk about how smart, talented, or successful you are, people don't think, wow, this person must be amazing. They think, why do they feel the need to keep proving themselves? True confidence is silent. It's the person who walks into a room, says very little, and lets their work, presence, and energy speak louder than words. Those are the people everyone respects, not the ones who are busy writing their own fan fiction. B. Overselling creates skepticism. The more you try to convince people of how great you are, the more they question it. If you keep repeating, I'm one of the best at this, or I have so many connections, people subconsciously start doubting you. They start wondering, if it's true, why do you keep bringing it up? Remember this rule: the loudest person in the room is rarely the most powerful. C. You attract the wrong kind of attention. Overselling yourself might get you noticed, but not for the right reasons. You'll be labeled as that person who's always bragging. Instead of earning respect, you create an invisible barrier where people keep their distance. They might smile and nod when you speak, but inside, they've already tuned out. Worse, it makes you vulnerable. When you set yourself up as this highly capable, ultra-successful person, the moment you fail, and you will fail at some point, people won't see you as relatable. They'll see you as someone who pretended to be more than they actually are. D. What to do. Instead, the fix: let your results speak first. You don't have to announce your worth. Show it. Deliver consistently. When people see results, they'll naturally respect you without you saying a word. Be honest about your achievements. You can talk about what you've accomplished, but do it with humility. Instead of saying, "I'm the best at this," try, "I had a great experience working on this project, and here's what I learned." That shift makes you sound confident, not arrogant. Adopt the under-promise, over-deliver mindset. The most respected people don't boast about what they might do. They quietly do the work, exceed expectations, and let others spread their reputation for them. Be comfortable with silence. You don't have to fill every conversation with your accomplishments. Sometimes the most powerful move is to say less and do more. At the end of the day, overselling yourself is a trap. It comes from insecurity, disguised as confidence. People won't take you seriously if they sense you're trying too hard to make them believe you're important. Real respect is earned, not demanded. It's built by showing up, doing the work, and letting your results speak louder than your voice. 5. You fidget too much. People underestimate how much your body language affects the way others perceive you. You could be dressed perfectly, saying all the right things, and still leave the wrong impression if your body screams nervous energy. Excessive fidgeting, tapping your fingers, playing with your pen, constantly adjusting your clothes, cracking your knuckles, bouncing your knee, touching your face. All of these silent signals tell people one thing: you're unsure of yourself. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Humans are wired to associate confidence with stability. When someone is calm, composed, and still, our brains read them as secure, grounded, and in control. On the other hand, constant fidgeting subconsciously signals anxiety, lack of confidence, or even dishonesty, like you're hiding something, or uncomfortable with what you're saying. I learned this the hard way. A few years ago, I had to pitch an idea to a group of investors. I spent weeks preparing, crafting every word perfectly. But when the day came, I couldn't stop tapping my pen on the table. I didn't even notice it until one of them interrupted me mid-sentence and said, "Are you nervous?" That's when I realized how damaging these small, unconscious movements can be. Even though my pitch was solid, my body language screamed insecurity, and people noticed. The solution isn't to freeze or turn into a statue that'll make you look robotic and unnatural. Instead, you need controlled stillness. Learn to be comfortable with silence and stillness during conversations. When you speak, use deliberate hand gestures that add meaning to your words, not ones that distract. Keep your shoulders relaxed, your feet grounded, and your posture open. A good trick? Record yourself talking. Watch for small repetitive movements you weren't even aware of. Once you notice them, you can start correcting them. You'll be surprised how much more authoritative you look when your body matches your words. Remember this: confidence isn't just heard, it's seen. People trust calm energy. They take composed people seriously because composure implies competence. If you want others to respect you, start by commanding your own space. Speak less with your hands, more with your words. Move with intention. Let your stillness speak louder than your nervous habits. 6. You overshare personal details. Let's be brutally honest for a moment. People don't respect what they know too much about. And one of the fastest ways to lose someone's respect and their trust is by oversharing your personal life. I get it. We've all been there. You meet someone new, or you're trying to build rapport, and you think, if I open up, they'll feel closer to me. But here's the truth. Mystery breeds respect, and oversharing kills mystery instantly. When you constantly talk about your personal struggles, your family drama, your financial problems, or even your relationship issues, you're essentially showing people how emotionally exposed you are. Instead of seeing you as grounded and composed, they start to view you as someone who lacks control over their own life. And whether they admit it or not, they stop taking you seriously. Think about it. Have you ever been around someone who treats every conversation like a therapy session? At first, you sympathize, but after a while, you start to feel drained. You start to think, man, this person has no filter. Do they say this stuff to everyone? That's the danger. The more you spill, the less valuable your words become. Here's another problem with oversharing. It gives people ammunition. Not everyone around you has good intentions. If you reveal too much about your weaknesses, insecurities, or past mistakes, some people will use that information against you. It could be subtle, like a passive-aggressive joke, or direct, like questioning your capabilities in front of others. And let's not forget the impression oversharing leaves in professional settings. If you constantly talk about your personal problems at work, colleagues might think you're unfocused or unreliable. You might be perfectly competent, but your openness overshadows your abilities. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you should become a cold, emotionless robot. Sharing personal details can build deep connections, but there's a difference between authentic openness and emotional dumping. The rule is simple. Share gradually. Earn trust before revealing deeper parts of your life. Be intentional. Ask yourself, why am I sharing this? Will it help, or am I just venting? Maintain boundaries. Keep certain topics private, unless you truly trust the person. Remember this, respect comes from restraint. The less people know about you, the more carefully they treat you. Your silence, your mystery, your selective sharing, it all signals emotional strength. If you want people to take you seriously, don't make your life an open book. Because when everyone has access to every chapter, the story stops being interesting. 7. You avoid setting boundaries. If you want people to take you seriously, you need to understand one thing. Your boundaries define how others treat you. When you constantly allow people to cross your limits, whether it's your time, your energy, or your respect, you send an unspoken message. I don't value myself enough. And if you don't value yourself, why should anyone else? This is one of the most common reasons people lose authority, respect, and influence without even realizing it. You become too available, too accommodating, and too easy to manipulate. And here's the painful truth. People don't respect people they can easily control. Think about it. The coworker who always says yes to extra tasks, even when drowning in work, is never seen as a leader. The friend who tolerates constant cancellations is never prioritized. The person who laughs off disrespectful jokes eventually becomes the default target. I used to make this mistake myself. I thought being nice meant saying yes to everything, helping everyone, listening to everyone, giving endless second chances. But over time, I noticed a pattern. The more I gave, the more people took. The more I tried to keep everyone happy, the more I was taken for granted. It wasn't malice on their part, it was human nature. Here's what I realized. When you don't set boundaries, you teach people how to disrespect you. Boundaries are not walls, They're filters. They don't push people away. They teach people how to treat you. When you set them, you signal, I respect my time. I value my energy. I expect mutual respect. And guess what happens? The people who truly value you will adapt. The ones who don't will leave. Either way, you win. If you want to fix this, start small. Learn to say no without guilt. A simple, I can't commit to that right now is enough. Be direct when someone crosses the line. Don't explain endlessly, just be firm. Stop over-explaining yourself. The more you justify your decisions, the weaker your boundaries sound. At first, people might get uncomfortable, even upset. That's normal. Every time you change the rules, there will be resistance. But over time, you'll notice something powerful. The same people who once walked all over you will begin to respect your limits. Remember this, people treat you based on what you allow. If you want respect, you have to demand it. Not with aggression, but with quiet strength. Boundaries make you look confident. They make you magnetic. And most importantly, they make sure that the people in your life are there because they value you, not because they use you. If you avoid setting boundaries, you'll keep being overlooked, taken advantage of, and ignored. But the moment you draw the line, you change how the world responds to you. Sometimes, the quickest way to make people take you seriously is to finally start taking yourself seriously. At the end of the day, people don't take you seriously because you don't take yourself seriously. It's that simple. Respect is never begged for, demanded, or forced. It's earned through your actions, your presence, and your energy. If you're constantly talking too much, dressing carelessly, laughing at everything, overselling yourself, fidgeting, oversharing, and refusing to set boundaries, you're sending one loud message to the world. I don't fully respect myself yet. And the world always mirrors back what you project. Here's the truth. People respect certainty. They respect composure. They respect someone who knows who they are and doesn't need to scream it from the rooftops. You don't need to be the loudest person in the room to be heard. You just need to move like someone who knows their worth. So here's what I want you to take from this. Speak less but with impact. Dress like the person you aspire to become. Laugh genuinely, not desperately. Let your achievements speak louder than your words. Own your space. Stop fidgeting. Protect your privacy. And for the love of your own sanity, set boundaries. When you start carrying yourself with quiet confidence, something magical happens. People start paying attention. They start leaning in. They start respecting you, not because you asked for it, but because you embodied it. Remember this, respect isn't about pleasing everyone. Respect is about showing the world that you respect yourself first. Now go out there and make them take you seriously.